Da 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 da. Angus, I have a question. What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me no more.
Uku Suviste might agree with you. He has won Eesti Laul in Estonia and he is headed to Eurovision. Shall we talk about it?
Let's
Let's
do
do this!
this.
How wonderful was the awakening? Now everything is a sunrise. Painting the sounds of your breathing. Calling by your side. I never knew.
Dobre večer, привет, hello, hi. Oh my goodness, Estonia has chosen Uku Suviste. He overcame the contest favorite, whose name I always mess up, Angus.
Jaagup Tuisk. I'm
Thank you
gonna go
so
with
much.
pronunciation wise.
And jury darlings Annette X Freddy to take the crown. Let's in this first round just focus on his song. His song is very nostalgic. It's very old school. It kind of harks back, and this isn't a bad thing. It harks back to maybe some of Philip Kirkorov's earlier work, that kind of nostalgic Russian quality. It's very catchy. That type of music is defined by an earworm hook. And of the three super finalists, it's definitely had the biggest hook. It's the one that I can sing, the one that I can hum most easily. I thought the staging was kind of basic. It opened up really nicely with the light kind of flashing, a little Mons Zelmerlove effect. And then when he got to the first kind of chorus, some lights came on. But after that, it was a bit basic with like the word love in the background. I thought his music video actually looked much, much better than this. Long story short, I don't kind of get all the shade. I think that when there's a pre-contest favorite like Jaagup?
We'll go Jaagup.
Jaagup.
I apologize for
I don't
pronunciation.
know. When there's a favorite like that and then that favorite doesn't win, people get very upset. And there's a lot of negativity on our website, on social media, on Instagram, everywhere I'm looking. But I actually think this is very melodic, very musical, and will appeal across a lot of borders. I don't
Yeah,
think this is a
I
winner by any means of the Eurovision Song Contest, but I don't think this is a disaster.
Yeah, completely. I totally agree. I think this is very melodic. It is sort of, it does have that earworm quality. It gets in your head. I agree. Definitely at the semi-final, I thought this was a very beige staging with not a lot given to him. And sort of, we often talk about this. The artist is kind of left to their own devices to pull it off, which the semi-finals he did what he needed to. This time they added some nice VR effects at the start, which I think were quite good. He has this kind of magical star shot that comes out of his hands and draws you. Um, and yeah, I really enjoy it. Like I think it's very melodic. I think it's very respectable. It has an anthemic quality to it. There's a catchiness. There's a ringiness. I think he's a good salesperson for the song. Like he gets how to make well. He's done The Voice in Russia, so he knows how to do these big kind of reality shows and is used to stages and crowds of that size. And yeah, like I'm pleased with it, kind of by all means. And yeah, I think the shade has a lot to do with the fact he was not a lot of people's favorites going, or perhaps not their first favorite, we can say, going into this, which I think is where a lot of the negativity is coming from. Because certainly, if you compare the stage shows, Jaagup had a lot more euros thrown at it than Uku's had, which is, it can be record labels, it can be the broadcaster. It's no fault of Uku's own that he didn't have it. And I think were there more going on visually, we might have less sort of, yeah, outcry about this result.
Yeah, it's almost like many people assumed that Jaagup was going to win it all. And so people almost like stopped paying attention. They were like, this is a done deal. But at Eurovision and in these national selection shows, it's never a done deal.
In this beautiful.
And I love this point about comparing staging because Jaagup, the pre-contest favorite, had literally everything. It was like a Westfield shopping mall. He had the accessories, he had the clothes, he had the special effects, he had the water drops. It was a lot going on. Whereas Uku Suviste, he was H&M. He had on a tight shirt, and that was it. But you know what? He had that melodic hook. But sometimes, if you're putting up all this ornamentation, it's to hide something or mask something. And I just think there was a lot of silence in Jaagup's song. Beautiful Lie had a lot of silent moments where literally nothing was happening. And I got bored, frankly. I just got bored. I said this in our first reaction video where I did prefer Uku to this way back in December, November. It was a good art piece. I thought Beautiful Lie was a good art piece. But in the voting recap, I tend to lean more towards something with an earworm, like that hook, whether that's something like Arcade, which is an emotional hook, and Beautiful Lie is certainly an emotional performance, but it can also be like, you know, a more upbeat, nostalgic throwback hook like we have in Uku Suviste. I just want to say, I do think Jaagup will do very well at Eurovision one day. I think his time is coming. It just isn't this year, and that's okay. Maybe this is a blessing in disguise, because maybe he's going to come back with an even more amazing song in the future and we'll win it all. In any case, Uku has that charisma. He was coached by who on The Voice?
Annie Lorak, Shady Lady herself.
She don't take no loser. She don't take no loser. He's worked with Kirkorov, I believe. Certainly on this song, he's collaborated with Kirkorov on the concept. So he will get a lot of support going into Eurovision, which gives me hope that his stage show will transform.
Yes, and I mean, I think Arcade is a prescient point. You know, Robin Gallagher has made a really fantastic point consistently this season. We have a lot of sad boy type songs, and certainly Jaagup is in that mode. I do think it was distinctive enough to not be totally derivative, where some songs have been. And staging-wise, I think that kind of Jedi Force trick shot with the rain droplets was quite beautiful and amazing, and sort of the stuff we can do with Viana was great. However, falsetto has consistently been a problem for him, particularly that kind of climax. He didn't hit it at the semi-final. It was a bit pitchy this time, and I think that would have been a concern moving forwards, whereas Uku vocally has been all together. And I think perhaps it's your point as well. Maybe it's sort of throwing all the spaghetti at the wall is what put people off with Jaagup. And also think like that disproportionateness when it's kind of apparent and people interpret it as sort of TV producers perhaps wanting one act to do better than another, they often reject that because they don't like to be led down a particular path or narrative. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it was a very credible song. I think the staging was great, some vocal problems. I have no issue, however, with Uku winning. And also, Uku was the runner-up last year, only 1 year. So, you know, Jaagup, it could be 12 months down the line, or less, because the Easter Laul songs will come out in December.
I also think this was kind of boy versus man. I just feel like Uku on stage was more solid. You could tell he was a seasoned performer, completely unfazed. Jaagup was very good, no doubt, but it just didn't feel as solid overall. And so when the voting was coming in, I didn't feel particularly surprised. Let's talk about the third act, actually, in the super final. This was a Net x Freddy. A lot of jurors really loved this.
First comes the song, you say you're falling in love, and say if you could write songs, would you write one about me?
I've got to say, it doesn't do much for me. I thought it was shot well, the stage cuts. It looked like something you'd see at Melody Festival, and it was very stylish, kind of crop, 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 Loreen, crop, crop. But yeah, I just think the song is dull.
I actually totally agree. I would struggle to hum the melody to you now, and I've definitely listened to that song upwards of kind of 20, 30 times. And I, to be honest, was shocked it did so well with the juries. Equally, Eesti Laul is one of those sort of rare exceptions where the juries can often go for slightly outlandish entries or kind of and equally this year it was much more split than in previous years. I mean, I think, you know, the year of Alina Neshaeva, for example, she was kind of a runaway favorite in that category. This wasn't. But yeah, Annette X Freddy, it was a surprise they did so well with the juries, but kind of good for them. But yeah, the song does not do anything for me, and the staging made very minimal impact. So I was kind of surprised they were in there versus some of the other acts in the lineup. But you know, good for them. It's a foundation to build on. Yeah, fundamentally, final point, I think I don't know about the right song. I am perfectly happy that this song won. I think Jaagup, there's maybe warning elements, but the point is now they have months to work on this performance, and rarely is the performance in Estonia exactly the same as the one that you will see at Eurovision.
I'm just going to quickly read through some comments that I found on the wiwibloggs.com discussion section, and if any of them, strike something, you respond. Good Morning says, 2006 Eurovision called, they want this song back. Matthew says, LOL, this gonna get overrated. Yes, he's hot, but come on, the song is so extremely dated. To which Nico Damask writes, ovaries have voted. Chris says, and out in the semifinal it is, cringiest song I have heard in a long, long time.
I think that the semi-final thing is interesting. We don't have all the songs, but also I believe Estonia is in the second semi-final, which, pundits as we are, the common sentiment is that is the more open one to be in. So, yeah, I don't necessarily see that they're out in the semi-final at all, because that is more open. We still don't have all the songs. And to sort of the dated comments, I think that ultimately it's subjective. For some people, what is dated, for others will be timeless. And I think there are always songs in this mold and this sound that perform well at Eurovision. There's normally not room for, say, 5 or 6 of them, but there is room for 1 or 2 of them to do well. So depends what happens with selections, what the rest of the makeup looks like. But I don't think Estonia is out by any means. I think perhaps more limited in terms of where it will go in the final. So where I think Jaagup, they had stuff going on staging-wise that I think might have elevated that towards the top 10. I still think this could be a left-hand side in the grand final if they play their cards right.
Alex says, the Marcus Riva of Estonia, handsome, but the song is France level of boring, gonna flop. His 2019 entry was miles better. And finally, Joe says, look, I counted Estonia's Mediocre White Guy song out last year. Who knows what will happen this year? But Jaagup was pretty much Eurovision ready on all counts, and y'all brushed him aside.
Yeah, I mean, I think Estonia surprises, you think back to someone like Birgit Oigamil, for example. Uusaks Algase was not a terribly inspiring song, but she was pregnant and it went from black and white to colour. And somehow the magic happened and that song went through. So I think Estonia is quite unpredictable. They have they kind of straddle this Baltic Scandi bloc, but also the ex-Soviet bloc, or kind of the ex-Russian state blocks, we can say. So I think there is a path to the final for this, and I wouldn't count them out, because also things can come together. I mean, I think Victor Krone, a lot of people had written off going into the semi-final last year, and he managed to make it through and finished up, coming 20th in the final. And now he's in the final in Sweden. So, yeah, I don't think anything's ruled out at this stage. I personally like the song and can see a path to the final for it.
Absolutely. And having read all those comments out loud, they often referred to Jaagup, but now the attention needs to turn to Uku Suviste and what he can do on his own merits. Let's see if time will heal the wounds of some fans. Let's see what happens. I think this is going to improve dramatically, because he clearly, I don't want to say got the shaft, but he did not have the budget of his competitor in this stage show situation.
Completely. And also, I think this is a guy that wants it. He wants to go to Eurovision. You could see the emotion a couple of times through the show. Yeah. He was kind of like tearing up when he thought he wouldn't be in the super final, and then he was when he got the jury votes. He's done Eesti Laul 3 times. He wants to do well. And I think that kind of enthusiasm for the competition makes a big difference. So I think Estonia have a great ambassador this year who's going to be keen to do well and to succeed. And he'll put the work in and the time in to do well, which is what counts ultimately.
Well, that's what we think. What do you think? Did the right song win in Estonia? Do you think the fact that the fan favorite didn't win is impacting people's opinion on who did win? Let us know here on wiwibloggs.
Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below if you've got any hot burning opinions. Give us a like and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video from wiwibloggs.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.